Why weren't the Pittsburgh G20 protests better covered? Over 4,000 cops. Over $20 million worth in expensive and dangerous cop toys. A city under martial law. The legal director for the Center of Constitutional Rights wrote, "What no terrorist could do to us, our leaders did. Helicopters crisscrossed across the skies. Gunboats sat in the rivers. The skies were defended by Air Force jets. Streets were barricaded by huge cement blocks and fencing. Bridges were closed with National Guard across the entrances. Public transportation was stopped downtown. Amtrak train service was suspended for days. In many areas, there were armed police every 100 feet. Businesses closed, schools closed, tens of thousands were unable to work." Alternative news was the only method by which the people could learn about what was happening, compared to the stereotypical, repetitive, and misleading mainstream news. Never did the mainstream media actually look at the big picture, nor did they even report what they were expected to report. Nothing was said for what was actually accomplished during the G8 and G20 summits, for example. The same could be said for what happened in Toronto. The focus had consistently and repetitively been on the smashing of windows, climbing of trees, and the burning of police cars. At one point, a line of police officers stepped back, retreated, and gave away a police car. This police car was set on fire so that those who were watching from home could enjoy themselves and know that the $1 billion spent on security was indeed going somewhere. The methods of the mainstream media and the police became apparent only after, and the negative image of the anarchist was shown on live televisions across Canada. Public opinion was turned against the anarchists as a result of their passion. Sure, they could justify to themselves that the violence of throwing a rock or a Molotov cocktail is minuscule compared to the violence of states and corporations. But all the uneducated populace sees is the offensive person in black and the defensive person in blue. There is no need to debate whether provocateurs threw the first rock or not. The fact is, the anarchists followed. The point of protest is to change public opinion and to make the populace realize the injustices of our society, especially when their voices are not heard anywhere else. The police force and the mainstream media were incredibly effective in their purpose, while the anarchists, to put it bluntly, failed. Compare these cases with the Seattle protests of 1999. What did the public think of that? There is a reason why the G20 and the G8 were held where they were held, instead of in some military base or in some secret location. Why did they have to tell the public? Whatever the case, if anarchists are to gain any ground culturally or politically, they will need to learn from their mistakes like these. The point of a protest is not to bring down the monopolies of the world, nor will it help to throw a couple rocks and start a few fires.